moment you will see my world, which contains a lot of stuff I did since I started painting graffiti till I painted a lot of murals and canvases and so on. You can visit this world by downloading VR Chat and clicking the link below. As you can see, the space is quite large because it contains all canvases I painted and also some murals. The project is open and it will be updated with new walls, new canvases and so on. Oh. Hello. Cześć Jasiu. Słyszysz mnie? Do you hear me? How do you like? If you don't hear me, I can send you emoji. Hello. Autona is my friend, not only in this game, but in real life as well. We were painted together a lot of walls. I wonder why I cannot hear you. Maybe I should. I don't know, maybe he doesn't have the microphone checked. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so follow me. It's basically from the oldest canvases, or the oldest walls to the newest canvases. It's divided by the spaces, which contains the exhibitions and sets, as I said. So maybe I will start talking about the things I done. I don't have here the oldest walls because basically I don't have the photos. I started in 1998. No, 1996. Excuse me. And this wall is from 98. Yeah, and I did it as a lot of here in my hometown, Olsztyn in Poland. And this was like a start of it was the time when my letters began to have some characteristic details that can define something that people name style in graffiti. Basically, I achieved it by the rules. I was adding new rules and obey it. It was mostly about the geometry of the letters, of all shapes, and these shapes were changing in the time, because at the beginning it was very dynamic, sharp, and then getting much softer and it's because of this all endings which started to be more cutted into something round, and from this style I went to diagonal style. The more I can explain the lecture, which will be available on YouTube channel Proembrion, because some of the walls are missing here. But diagonal style was very strict, ruled composition, because there was only 45 degrees, 0 and 90 degrees angle, legal, let's say, like a legal move. And even though there was a great opportunity to be free in this constructing letters, and after that I went so highly skilled in this that I decided to make it one line, like outline is painted only with one line. And this was kind of problem, because I started to remember in my mind the outline, the composition. Sometimes it was quite, mostly it was simple, but this one is quite difficult. And there was no way to not make a mistake or not remember some detail. And we'll just check something, excuse me. Everything is here. Okay. I'm back. But I decided to paint it from memory, and there was some moments that I needed to freestyle, because I didn't remember, and this is one line only, so you cannot stop. You need to paint the outline. If you stop, the paint will drop, or whatever. And that is the moment when my freestyle begins. As I said, I was quite trained in this geometry, so I was focused more on color now than on the drawing. When I had a sketch to rescale it from the paper to the wall, there was a kind of activity which was unnecessary. Like now, when I was painting free, I could more focus on what I'm painting, how does it look, and feel the tool even, because I really like the astrophat lines and the things that happen when you mix the fog of the color on the wall. Was really inspiring for me. I could find in this improvisation forms some detailed things, all abstract, but every time it starts from the letters. Proembrion here, Roem, R-O-E-M, on the beginning. And yeah, that's it. The murals that were after was different, but all is like an evolution process of the from I start to something I don't expect. And now I would like to introduce you to my paintings. This is the first painting I did on canvas in 2010. It was for my friends Gosia and Biszkopt. Pozdrawiam, jak oglądacie. For their wedding. Oh, really like a family, the tree, but also diagonal geometry. This was a branch fractals. Yashu, are you here? I don't know. Someone is here. I shouldn't check to. I don't know. There's some lags here, but no problem. I can easily show you. But anyway, I'm here on the PC, but in the future I want to be here in goggles. It will be really great. So this was the paintings I did after 2010, but it was like a beginning. In this really prehistoric time for painting canvases for me, I strongly believed that permanent markers and tools for graffiti are the best because they can last forever. It's not true. Now I'm kind of a pigment specialist and know much more about it. But these paintings are fine. I think they're quite good condition after years, since 10 years. But it was for some exhibition in Gdańsk, organized by Michał Linow in the club. And the next paintings are from Sphinx in Sopot, from the exhibition which we did with Penner in 2011, I think. I need to add some years above, I think. There is a painting from 2011, of course. Here it is, from Wyścigi in Warsaw, and there was some experiments with the forms, because 2011 was the time when I was trying to achieve full abstraction. I mean, on one piece, different elements, everything totally different from the other things, and also each new painting I was doing, I was trying to make completely different. So it was a time of a lot of experiments. Also, I was this is very interesting, but maybe not so pretty, I think, painting from that time, 2011. It is called Random Forms and Their Children, because I can show you some because the forms are like a points on this canvas, as I said, every form is different, abstract form, like a little sign or the the thing totally made up, and between each there is a something I can call a child of two forms, something in between. I was trying to imagine some like animation between one form and another, and this in the middle is that what I was looking for. And because the forms was totally different, some was very problematic, really problematic. I don't remember which one now, but yeah, and also sometimes there was a few solutions to combine them. So it was maybe if someone who listen or who are watching this live, could you tell me please if this if I am hurt, how does it, how it works, or write me just. Let's see, on Facebook. Hello, are you watching? Okay. So, yeah, and another, like a twin, because the same dimensions, twin canvas, is like a studium of like a 1 point from this on the right side, like a zoom in, and really complicated. And this is similar composition, but really dense. And this is the title of this, dense. And it's or maybe even high dense. I think Czarek from Lubin have this brain damage gallery. There you can see some other things. This was a very drawing like canvases. I was because drawing was always maybe not easier for me, but I was practicing drawing much more than painting. My early was really drawn, because this was flat without the space, and everything the plane the line was playing a main role in this painting. That's why I had have it in hand. So I was painting canvas by drawing at the beginning, and and then add the paint. So the effect was very dynamic, because my lines are because no, I don't know. It was very dynamic. Oh, here is a small canvases I have. I did it in Signer's studio in Łódź. It's available, so Noriaki was asking me if I have some small painting for him. So please let me know. Maybe I will show you Noriaki tomorrow, as I said, more this wall here is basically about, maybe not about, it's after the after this one with lot of random forms, and after experience of all variation I was painting before, because I learned that every form from the past can be on one painting. You don't need to be with the form like on the present one, and you have it, so you can play with it. And here I made such a play. It began with the diagonal forms that was from 2002, 2003, 4 was more round, 7 was really messy, and 2010 with planes and rhythms and animation forms, I was really inspired by parametricism, and because I studied architecture, so I was going to library and read architectural design, really nice magazine with futuristic things, and I was learning about the future of architecture. And this is a combination in the circle form with the a lot of different shapes in one tonation, yellow. Oh, this is also really important thing for me. When I was invited to paint this wall, there was some color schedule for each wall. I had yellow one, but I said that I don't want to paint with yellow wall, because this is no painting when you have only dark yellow, and bright yellow, and white and black, like monochromatic. I needed whole spectrum, but let's say tilted into yellow direction. So basically, complementary color blue doesn't exist here. This is gray. Gray can be blue, as well as this cold green is quite dim, and yellow are really vivid. So 2012, this was the time I was thinking about colors a lot, in this way, like choosing tonation for each wall. Really, because I had a lot of spray cans, so I could make a spectrum, cover it with some transparent layer in the computer, and see how the colors are changing, which now are what. So I just sorry, but I just check what is happening here because the stream is on Twitter, on Twitch, and on Facebook. as I understand, you can hear me, but I don't know. Oh, this is something I don't like in this VR chat. I don't know how and why it's happening, but sometimes there's a kind of glitch. There will be no. If there will be too glitchy, sorry about that, but I don't have this. That doesn't depend on me. Oh, this is the painting from Cedar house. I did in wood. So, hello Cedar, if you will. Pozdrowienia, pozdro. Some paintings that were done in similar time are in similar places. So in 2013, this is from Paweł Kita. Oh, somebody is here, but you see how black it is? This is a glitch. I don't like it. Maybe I can talk. Hello? Hello? Do you hear me? Hello? Oh, hi! How are you? Okay, again. Maybe in the future. I will see more. Okay, hello! Okay. Hmm. Escape. Okay, so let's continue. I don't know, understand this. Maybe this is my connection, or I want to say that this word will stay here. It will be updated, but I will come back here. Maybe I will say about some events here in my social media. Yeah, the transition mural from Łódź. This is not the biggest one I painted. The biggest is in Petersburg, done with Vasia LST, but this one was really big. It's almost 80 meters width and almost 12 height. High. So 21 days, really fast, but after this mural I said to myself, oh, wow, I want next one. Because this is the space that you can fill with everything, especially for me, the person who always improvise, because I don't have sketches for that, for this mural, for that one. From the time when I was give up sketching in 2002 to freestyle, I do it till now. Now I use something like diagrams, because there is for my mathematical structures I do, but it's not, it's determining the composition maybe no, composition is improvisation, but the forms are ruled by some laws. So this is a combination of my mathematical approach. This was the time after composing some sequences of natural numbers by graphic composition by by some blocks, some modules. I had exhibition about it this this year in Kolonia Artystów. So it was like 8 years ago, and I wanted to merge this mathematical flat things with the structures I know from painting, this spatial one, and make a transition between one to another. Also, the context was pretty important for me. I mixed the color of the bricks to use it for merging the edges of the composition with the surrounding. And also what I noticed, because originally you cannot see this wall as like here. There is it's on the street, so you cannot step further distance. And also trees are here, so you watch this wall from 3 perspectives, let's say. It's a whole wall as a global composition, and then the dominant is situated here. You cannot see the details in the middle, and from the closer look, and the color contrast is the main thing you see. And when you step really close, these details here are something that you watch. It was kind of new thing for me to think about the image that have few levels of dominance, like a kind of fractal thing that it's different from the distance and different from the close look. Maybe we'll step to another things. And the three canvases I did for Dortmund gallery. 4439. I don't remember the number, but you know which one I mean. There was a Polish group show, and we with Naver, Penner, Hazme, I think, yes, Sepe, and no, that was 5 of us, and we did 3 paintings. Every of us made 3 paintings. This one is in my It's my parents' house now. My father really liked it, so I gave it to him. It's also the painting that was traveling with brain damaging gallery around Europe, and this one is also I think in Emirates or something. Kevin, my friend Kevin, buy this, and this belongs to my wife, Anya. But also color issue here, and this is the some example that I was thinking about colors, like the rules between them. Each one have a background of complementary colors. Like this one is blue with yellow, this is cyan with red, and this was magenta with green as a starting. But sometimes when you start a painting, it's so good at the beginning that you just finish in the moment, because there is no purpose to go further. And this first one was such example. This is really rare to start the painting and it's finished in minutes for me. I don't know how about other artists. And this has some really important experiment, formal experiment, because it's as I call it, a spatial glitch, like a three-dimensional glitch. It's not the like you can see here in the scene sometimes, but it's made with pixels, but in the space, and each pixel is connected with some, let's say, biological look wires or things that can draw some repetitive structure in space to give the rhythm I known from parametricism aesthetics, and I was really interested that days. There is one mural also that I was planning to make more such things here on this wall, but I went further while painting, and the rhythm is pretty different. And here is only a structure. The rhythm structure is behind. And some paintings really intuitive, like this one, based on the tagging practice and skill that can be used for composing the painting. It's something now. If I see this like something in between drawing and painting, but not at all. Oh, this one is also in good hands, and spatial glitch on the canvas, and special and glitched background. This is a kind of attempt to glitch the surrounding and stay and leave the structure undistorted somehow. Oh, and this painting is actually available now on Desa Unicum auction tomorrow, but it's from the not given by me, but by the buyer, so it's from the market. Oh, this is the word. And you can bid this tomorrow. I really invite you to Desa Unicum from Warsaw. And there are also some paintings I did for Ustrukturalnienie exhibition with Penner. I told you before, from Sphinx, some diptych. This one is in Ula house. This is also Kevin, but maybe I should more talk about the forms and subject at the paintings, not the not the owners. I forgot water. Okay. So, excuse me for a moment. I will go to have water. Just a minute. I'm back. This one is also available in Art Info in Warsaw. All paintings are in scale, of course. No, this is this size, and just polygonal interest, polygonal inspiration was always in my mind. So let's have a look here, because we are now in the beginning of 2014, and this is a really important painting from Full Moon in Warsaw. The first painting I did with this color order. I call it after Exuberant, but it was the first one with the rule that it's the space is defined by the color. The further the color, with the distance, the color is changing. So the sequence I mean is the the permutation I've seen on one of composed graphic of the sequence of natural numbers like you have here. But in the corner I've seen maybe I will show you. I will. I think I will. In the moment. It's on this painting as well, on all paintings after that, because it was really strong inspiration. White, cyan, magenta, blue, black, red, green and yellow. The 8 colors that are extreme RGB colors of the corner of RGB cube. And it was really interesting to see this order, because from yellow to red there was a green between them, and magenta was between cyan and blue. So this was really interesting thing. That was not the order I know from the spectrum, like you have in the rainbow, and it was really like a gradient. There was no, it was not sharp or raw. I will show you this sequence in the moment. Here. Just a moment, I will show you. see it. These are the structures. I call it mathematics of color. Here, this is the sequence I took from. It starts from this one. I noticed is here in the sequence of natural numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And white, cyan, magenta, blue, black, red, green and yellow. This order was really inspiring for me. And I did a lot of structures with this, because it can be octagon or just I don't know what's happening. Okay. A little technical problems, but I will fix it in the moment. Sorry about that. Okay. This is my first streaming like that. Okay, so this is the family of the structures I discovered and use in my paintings, and all are based on this exuberance, this sequence I found there, and I switched the channels, the components of the colors, and I've seen 5 others. You have even here one, but let's go inside the game. Okay, there's a better another thing. Okay, let's go. To VR Chat. Yes. This was the first, as you see, a lot of different structures. Oh, it's about the colors and the shapes I learned from the past things you've seen on the previous walls, basically, with different impression with these new colors, but can express the spatiality of this space. And the first experiments with these colors in a really early early time, like a pure white with a little cyan, yellow uh, with green, green, red, and black. So like with a half of this sequence, and here this blue one with the other half, white, cyan, magenta, and blue, but in the reversed order. And similar thing with black, reversed order, but you can see really little yellow and green. But these are not the thing that can happen with this sequence in the full spectrum. I think this is the Wolfram Wolstein, which is really advanced composition from Exuberant. I think this is the main example. From white, cyan, magenta, blue, black, red, green, and yellow in the front. And here's the sequence. Very nice painting day there, like a whole day, 24 hours overnight until the morning. There is a time lapse on YouTube, you can find it. Type Proembrion and you will find, because there is no so much. And some from Geneva, different form, but same. Geneva in the moment, but this is from Košice, from Piecka Gallery paintings. The sequence of natural numbers, colored with this exuberant sequence, and dissolution of that puzzles. Some experiment with the saturation of these colors, so really with a lot of white, with a lot of gray, and these really subtle differences between tones. And this also the same sequence, but with some technique that each layer was covered with a really thin white to give an expression of air, like a atmosphere. And first canvas in studio with the sequence. Also the painting I think was good at the beginning. The idea was for me really new. The color was really dense, really saturated, and you need to be really brave to add a lot of them in that situation with a white background that is already sculptured with gray and have great forms in it. So sometimes it's really hard to cover what you really like. But this is the disadvantages of painting with layers in space. Every new layer will hide some layer underneath. Like here, the paintings from Geneva. Was invited there by Bundy. There was a show called Post Up Post graffiti and abstract. V9, the exhibition broadly defined. The title of the exhibition expressed my curiosity about some Polish term, which is always I don't know if still it was always added when they talk about street art. There was always szeroko pojęta sztuka ulicy, broadly defined street art. I didn't understand why to not say just street art, to be more strict, but anyway. The exhibition was wider than this here, because here are only paintings on canvas, but on the exhibition was a lot of more, like, little physical structures I was collecting and assembling, or some drawings, also wall painted, so augmented reality markers. Here there's 8 canvas. On each is 1 layer more. First is pure white. There is a with cyan. Next one have magenta. No, I think I did a mistake. Oh, I need to fix it. There is a 7, not 8. And this one is brighter because it has 2 textures on it. Like two paintings mixed together. Okay, I will write it down. Okay. There is also one mistake I know about later. So, and here we have blue. Here is added black to this blue. All structures are also a little bit different. This is really like a focus or a zoom effect, I don't know. A very dynamic thing, and here it's even green layer on it, with like 1 point as dominant. These paintings are also available, but not the last one. It's available in Kuratorium Gallery in Warsaw. And here you have all elements on the place with yellow little cube as a like a cherry on the cake on the top. Yes. So the people was asking me, so why how you do it? Just project it with Photoshop and make a beamer and then paint, yes? But they didn't understand that it's all just improvisation on the canvas, no sketches, nothing, just the idea of the ruling the colors. Paintings from San Francisco, from 1 AM gallery. The same concept, but here also each layer is perpendicular to another. Like you have one is vertical, so next one will be horizontal, and so on. It's a kind of composition play. Here is more intuitive, with a lot of black area. And after exhibition, or after the one exuberant painting, as I said, I discovered that there are 6 of them. And at first I was making the middle colors to replace 8 color sequences with only 4, to avoid this from bright to dark to bright, and switch it to only one half, like from bright to dark. And for different exuberance there are different sets of 4 colors only. This is a green exuberant, so have the original sequence is white, yellow, cyan, green, and then black, blue, red, magenta. So if you mix the white with magenta and red with yellow, cyan with blue, and black with green, you get this. Excuse me. Wow, I said it for the first time. I'm streaming, excuse me. Okay, so this is middle green, I call it in the sequence. Bright like white with magenta, then orange, blue, cyan, and dark green. Here is a blue exuberance, so this is the one I was using for first time, the first exuberant. Again, bright yellow, because white is plus yellow, then green plus cyan gives something like a mint green, red plus magenta, and blue plus black, so dark blue at the top, and red magenta with green cyan in the middle. More important is color than the structure, because structure is only the play of intuition here. Nothing dependent on rules that I can describe. More about some memory of some practices in previous work, but to be more fast, here is the red middle red exuberant, the same rule, but oh, and also here I decided to show the sequence, how it is made. So you have red exuberant, because the first one is blue, and the names are they are named by colors that are dominant, and other 3 are opposite because they also have the same dominant, but they are not soft but sharp, I can say. So it's here white, yellow, magenta, red, black, blue, green, and cyan. And as you can see, these pairs are merged together and making one color. Like here, red plus black is dark red, violet from magenta and blue, and so on. These are really simple adding when you have RGB cube and the corners, so these colors are on the middle of the edges. If you combine the diagonally or opposite on the face, you can get in the middle of the color from the face of this RGB cube. This painting combines three orders. The first one I show you, the third one in the middle, and the second in the bottom. As a composition with the verticals confronted with horizontals. This painting should or was planned to obey similar rules to this one, but I decided to stay with to leave it with this liquid forms and focus on some details on the cyan area. In the middle, exuberance, and also exuberance that are in forms of the some segments connected to each other, each segment different color, and on this painting it's connected with white segments to create kind of a loop, also with connection on the black segment, because I knew that it can be a loop, and because it's 6 of them, once I decided to try if there is a solution for arrangement in hexagonal order, and there was one which have there is each neighbor have one component of the colors the same in the same order. If I would like to show you, it's excuse me for that. Here it is. I think I should have it in the software before. Oh, I think you see it. just leave it here. Okay, so there is a 6 exuberance, the sequences. And you see that each exuberant have the same one component. So for each consecutive exuberant there is a different branches, or as I can imagine that. And this concept, or this arrangement, I used to paint the mural in wood, CK Zeto. Maybe it isn't seen on first glance, but the whole wall is composed with this rule which I showed you on the diagram. So there is a hexagonal cells. From each vertex there is a perpendicular exuberant, 6 of them, on each 6 different, on each hexagon, and connected with some wires in the places where the color component is the same. Also freestyle, but this strong concept is really a thing that can determine a lot. And in the middle there is a RGB heart, I can say, because it's RGB cube but with vessels, with color flux from the middle to the places around the image. So it's like a kind of color heart. You can leave. Maybe the mathematics is really abstract for me, but sometimes I have some symbolic thinking about, but don't take it seriously. This one is really complicated, really complex painting. I was doing, I don't know, half a year. Actually, I was having it almost done, really simple. But my sequence was needed to have also a white, as I scheduled, but I didn't know how, what element I should paint, how it should work in this image, and how do it. I was sticking there some papers with different shapes, and nothing was good for the composition, and I decided to take a risk to make some accidental, this is a good word, accidental act, and I run the painter with compressor, actually the same device I used for the big wall here in Łódź, and I just shot it once and have a half of painting painted with black, with white dots of drips, and pretty mess. I was quite quite surprised and stressed, and the feeling that you don't know what happened. But this was the task, to leave it and finish the painting. And I reversed the order because it's from black to white, and there's 6 colors of from RGB cube from the middle of the faces, like dark magenta, dark cyan, dark yellow, and bright green, bright red, and bright blue. And so I reversed to the order back to black. I can fast show, but yeah, and it was really difficult thing. Now Penner has it in the house, home. Here are, on the left, there is the same paint, the same colors, the same order, but really calm and minimalistic. I painted this after Hazma said me to not go to details at the beginning, as I was like to do, and I decided to make some larger forms. And this one is really bright because I was experimenting then with really liquefied paint and gravitation to make a kind of starting structure to next movement. But some painting stays in the level of pure basic, like this one. You cannot see it here, but it's really textured. I was experimenting with some mediums and things. This was the exhibition in Brain Damage Gallery in Lublin, called Reality, because, as I said there, kind of a joke that the reality we know is based on 3 colors: red, green, and blue. And this is how it is, because our eyes are having receptors that are green, red, and blue. So this is like a religion. Hexagonal arrangement of exuberance, I called hexuberance, because hexagonal exuberance. And this is the painting with other form of that. It's called early exuberance, because I can imagine it as it grows and just started growing. The first colors, then the second, third one, not everywhere, just in some places, and other places are left without any structure growth. Also, really strong perspective feeling made with spray fog. And there's a few paintings that are gray, because I believe that it's good to start with gray and then add colors. But again, some paintings were done before they started, so a lot of energy, a lot of gesture, things I really like in graffiti, on two paintings merged together. Doesn't need more structures or brush intervention. I think it's obvious. For this painting is different because it was totally... Oh, this was a rule that I have. Maybe it can be helpful for others. That when I don't, or I'm not brave enough to add more to the painting, I can say to myself that I will start another similar method or similar things, and then go further. And here it is. This painting was started with tags covered with transparent layers of gray to make a feeling of depth. And then I extracted some details from this structure I made with spray, with the tags, with all the lines crossing each other, and grow their exuberance in hexagonal arrangement, but also really dissolved in various direction and forms. If here is not so good resolution, I will make in the future maybe better, or maybe this is also because there are a lot of canvases. But you can see it on my website, Proembrion.com. There is a whole bunch of canvases in quite nice resolution. And this painting is really similar to this too. The brush was here, but not color. The tags are structural now, like a sculpture, or you can interpret it how you want it. This is there are some paintings I did in Moscow, second atmospheric biennale of street art, and these are about the next structure from exuberance, cubes, exocubes. Here is the paintings is showing whole lattice of these exocubes. The theory behind it is quite wide now, but basically this exuberant okay, again, just a moment. Here, the desktop, here it is, execute rotation. Let's see if it's going to be here or Or no? Yes, it is. Great. Really great. I will make it smaller to see. No, I think I can leave it here. I need to remember that he's here. Or even maybe smaller. Okay. Nice, nice software. Yeah, this exocube is built with 6 exuberants as octagons. Each is connected to 4 others, and if you're using only one direction of these octagons, of these exuberants, you can make it only two exocubes with 2 white triangular corners, or with black. But when you use or allow a mirror reflection of each, you can build 64 such, and they can be separated in groups or in sets, I should say, because groups are more about the symmetry, and each have a different colors on these corners. It's like a corner of the on the lattice. The corners are connected to each other and creates octahedron. But also these octahedrons have the same always different colors in it, and it's very interesting that these colors appear there, because when you average the color, because there are 3 colors to 1, and find these colors in the RGB color space, you can see the structure, really symmetrical, really interesting for me. And also this all these groups. Oh, somebody is here. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Maybe. No, I have a voice. I think. Microphone level maybe. And I will. Nice. A guest. You're welcome. I don't know, maybe this will help. Hey, who are you? Well, hello. Maybe I will. Hello. Hello. Hi. I don't know what's happening, but I'm going around and around. What is now? Oh, Lazarus. Hello. Hello. Okay, maybe I will continue the I think I will just turn off this execute rotation, and now when you see this execute, I can show you more. This painting I can show you with the executes. You see how this structure can be complicated even if it's made with so simple shapes like this truncatted cubes. But also the colors of the edges is playing an important role because it's detail that gives this kind of new harmony. Because there is in these cubes and all these mathematics I am interested in, there is a hidden harmony because of the symmetries. And when I implement it in my paintings, I believe that this harmony is there, and guarantee I'm sure that it's there, and I can just play with my intuition with other things, and it's really interesting thing to do. Like in here, like in this canvas, 2 meters height, execute lattice, very in a large perspective, let's say. It begins with some really intuitive structure, really noisy, and from this the structure is appearing from. Even to close very close. This was exhibited in Paris. These three and some of the exhibition from collective gallery in Wrocław, because this previous was there. let's go shift here. Yeah, I was invited by Lokis. I don't know if you watch this. Hello, Lokis. How are you? I hope you're fine. You do now really amazing things. I hope we will collaborate someday. But it's on my side now, of course. You invited me to the exhibition in Paris, and I bring this brought there these paintings, and it started my collaboration with Silal and the gallery Silal M13 in 2017. I painted 20 canvases for the exhibition called Discretinuum, and the name is a combination that doesn't exist in mathematics, or it's kind of oxymoron because if something is discrete, it cannot be continuous, and this I see my paintings as a disconnection. Like I have some mathematical, really strict, so discrete determinants for the painting, and I have intuition that can make everything, so it's continuous for me. And the mixture of that is my paintings. This one here is the widest canvas I ever done. It's 180 to 480 meters, and it's called continuum because there is no mathematical determinants. This is only one canvas like that, with only one side showed. Pure intuition. Spray. The canvas I was planning, I think, a year to paint. I bought this big roll, and I built a special wall, wooden wall in my studio to stretch it there. And this construction was quite complicated. I made it mostly for that painting, but I was using it also later. And I was building this wall. It sounds like a political thing, but I was building it almost a month, or I don't know, three weeks or something, and I was painting this really fast. The background was 3 days, I think, because there was a lot of gesso with a roller, and then I spray painted really fast. I have it recorded on video, so maybe someday I will publish it. It's the dust from these cans was in my studio till the leaving this 2 years ago. Everything was this pink dust, but I think it was worth it. The size was really like a graffiti. I can go further. I would like to show you other paintings, because the Discretinuum exhibition was the first exhibition. Also, I was thinking about the dimensions of the canvases. I mean, I order the canvases, but the proportion I choose it wisely based on what not what I need, but also what I have, and the it's kind of silly, but depends on the shape they can create when you arrange it on the coordinates system, like x, y, where x is the width and height is y. Then each canvas is in different point, and here is this in space. Basically, this has some now I talk about the proportional canvases, not canvases. Have some orders, but I was trying to make some circle and to make different colors on the other side, like the opposition, like here is blue, that is horizontal, vertical, and on the opposite is horizontal yellow, and I also choose some Pythagorean triangles proportions, so there are a few of them. The 1 meter is like some standard thing, so there was this is height of 1 meter. Yeah, and I was making here this thing I tell you about the title. So the structure really determined by the mathematics I discover by myself with this exuberance, and the substance of the all elements around, or the composition, which is made really for wildness, sometimes noise and dirt, to be contrasted to really smooth shapes. This is also made on spray can, because I use spray cans on canvases, but it's kind of dangerous thing. When I say dangerous, I mean you cannot undo this, because when you paint only with opaque colors, you always can cover something with something new when you change your mind or when you need it. And when you have background with a lot of really small dots one to another, it's it cannot be done. When you want to replace some object you painted with background to hide it, you cannot do it with no trace. Basically is that. So I used spray can on canvas really rarely. Really, I like more paint with brush to have the control of what I'm doing. This when you can look now on at it's with exocubes of this natural order with black corners, and the structure is also kind of lattice, but made with bands, and every cube is reflected to another to build a structure. There's a plenty of them. I always think so. Maybe I will count how many it is here or on the other paintings, but I think I can be afraid of this number. And this is painting with Exo ITB, another shape that needs small introduction. So just a moment, I will drop on some animation on the screen. I have it here, Exo ITB. It will of course be very large at the beginning. Next stream, I think I will be more clever after learning this and prepare a small GIFs. So this is the shape, very similar to ExoCube. Maybe I will show you this this in reference. We have on the left side ExoCube and on the right side Exo ITB. It's the acronym of exuberance inscribed on a triangular B-pyramid. It means that this shape, triangular B-pyramid, contains the octagons on its faces. Normally it's made with these triangles, but here the octagons. Each octagon is connected to 3 others, and it's made with similar halves, or like ExoCube, but rotated to attach not with 6. We have here white edges that are in the middle. So in the Exo ITB, Exo ITEB, the halves are attached to each other only in 3 points, with the 3 edges, not like in the ExoCube with 6. And there are different corners. In ExoCube there are only triangular corners, 8 of them, and on the Exo ITB there are 2 triangular corners and 3 8 edges, star corners, I can say. And when here in ExoCube there was 2 with natural exuberance, in Exo ITB there are 54 possible variations, and also with mirror reflection allowed there are 336 possible variations. So more wide, I don't know if I probably used that name, symmetric group, or no, this is not about the symmetry group, it's about the combination possible. But anyway, I was studying these corners, these sequences of these corners, because on each of these 336 type there are different colors of these corners. On each there are 3, and they are really interesting. And when I will be able to show you some examples of all this I don't know if I have it. Maybe. Here. Maybe not this time. It's too complicated to show you all possibilities, but I will do it next time. Or you can watch the lecture I will download on YouTube to show you more detail about these shapes. But basically this is the analysis I done with all the average colors and the number of these colors on the stars corner, on the star corners, and again the objects made from these colors in RGB color space, separated by sets. And okay, I think you know about these executes, and let's get back to the paintings. Yeah, so I know the structure, which colors are where, and just play with the form, create the scene when where this shape is attached, and colors, yes, again, but on a different perspective. Important note, here I was using the RGB cube color space for enlightening all the objects. Hello! I don't hear you, I don't know why. Hello? Ah, you just showed something to me. Wow, nice avatar. Lazarus BB79. I want to... Oh, portal. What is this? Ah, you drop portal to my retrospective. Okay. Next time I will go to this portal. Okay, bye bye. And okay, so maybe fast introducing to other paintings from this side is better option to see. XYTB, very architectural drawing, I must say. And okay, the colors. colors of the space. As I said, I have a light in these canvases from different direction, different color. Depends on the RGB cube, and I choose the background color for each painting. Here you see blue, and in the front there is yellow, the complementary of this. And I need to build this RGB cube in. Oh, there is somebody. No. This exocubic lattice is enlightened with the colors from the cube, but directed to blue, and in the middle there is a green, magenta, and all the different colors from the cube. Like, which one is? Oh, this one is directed towards cyan, and from the right there is a green light. From the right, from the left there is blue, and in the front the things getting more red, because it's also the opposition of the cyan complementary. And this structure here also have this rule for light. When you see it, this on the far end of the painting there is a combination of the one side of the cube, like a black at the bottom, white at the top, and the colors green and blue on the side. But it's changed with adding more red, so the the cyan on the top, but from the closer distance it's changed to more red, and magenta is from blue, because blue plus red is magenta. Green is changing to yellow because of red, and black is changing to red because there was nothing and now it's red. So this color from light affect the surfaces of the exocubes here. Here also the exocubes that are changing into nests to be arranged on hexagons. It's a thing I developed and studied more on two other paintings. Here is a mural I did in Warsaw with this. A cube that is growth from hexagrams. It's like a mixture of hexagonal arrangement of the exocubes, like you have here, and they are changing, connected to it, or make it connection, kind of nest to create a cube. This is a cube that is intuitively transformed, of course. It's not a computer one, but as I said, I like what intuition says to me when I'm composing the canvases. or walls. This wall from Wyścigi. I invite you to be here and watch the canvases and walls by yourself, because maybe I skipped some on this arrangement in space, not in the line. It's more easy to skip one or find something surprising. The wall from Wyścigi in Warsaw from 2018. It has more or less all the structure, because there is a first thing where I noticed I've seen the sequence, the exuberant, and here is the blurred this sequence matrix. Here is the blue exuberant with the colors connected to the sequence, and other exuberants in hexagonal arrangement, so hexuberants. And these exuberants are also connected with the channels or the components, and grow more and more, and bend, and to create the cube here with the black corner, two black corners. So this is a natural cube, exocube. And next step, exo ITB, but is so close to us that its edges are attached to the edges of the wall, like it's really close, like we were inside it. Oh, here is this black corner of the exo ITB on this side, in the bottom, and above it there's a star corner. You can find more. Yes, here is the space of another star corner, and I think that the next one is out of the wall. So this is also this wall from Vola. Also in the process, you can see it on my Instagram, where I have a time lapse, because I put it really chaotic and formally just random background, and tag on it with red, really vivid red, adding some highlights from the top, and then I cover it with a lot of turquoise fog to cover these reds, and it's hardly seen here, but it was really strong. And this was the far plan. And from it all the closer shapes are appearing like here. What I can say is also about the color. You've seen in canvases that each is directed to some color, and in these two murals I had a concept which I try to have still, that this color of background depends on the side of the world, like if it's north or south or east or west, and it's always the same. So the north is blue and yellow is on south. On the west is red magenta in between, and east is green and cyan. So as you can see, this wall is directed towards cyan and green. So we looking at east now. But I built this world this way that each wall have two sides. So it doesn't matter here on VR Chat. And this is opposition, because this cyan and green we have on the front, and red magenta is on a very far perspective. Here on the left more yellow, and there more violet. The order of these colors is like in spectrum, but it's on a sphere, because there is also white and black. White at the top, black at the bottom. And about this concept I made a whole exhibition of, in Gallery Salal in Paris, called 3 by 3 by 3. It's about the RGB cube this size, 3 by 3 by 3. It's all canvases are arranged on the cube. Maybe it's time for a little introduction, so give me a moment, please. I can upload some stuff. Just a moment. I think I can explain some before I finish it. It's the same concept that the dimensions of the canvas are arranged on the coordinate system. So width and height is like a y or x and y, and when you put the canvases on some coordinate system, you will see 3 layers of the cube, because first layer contains 9 canvases with black red, yellow and green on the corners. Can I show you a view on my website, which will be the best thing. So plus okay, you see now. These are the paintings from the exhibition 3x3x3 in Salal. I would leave it under the masks, like here. Okay, great. So I will explain you the whole concept of this. The canvas's dimensions the color dimensions. Oh, here we have 3x3x3 RGB cube, and the canvases by its dimensions are creating this cube. So there are 27 canvases, each is about different color. It's directed towards different color of this cube. So there is white canvas, this is the biggest one, and the smallest is black, is opposition. Cyan and magenta are the longest one or the highest. In the middle there is a 1 meter by meter gray canvas containing a map of whole arrangement, whole system. On the corners of the first layer there are, as I said, yellow. In the middle is dark yellow. On the opposite, bright blue, and so on and so on. Here are the all canvases. Also, the structures are separated by the color. It's done arbitrarily by me, that the beginning is black and the end, the most advanced, most elegant structure I discovered or I found, it's on the white, and the exocubes are on greens, and on blue are ITB, and on the cyan, which is a mixture of green and blue. This is there is a on the corner, which is thing they have in common. And on the red there are exotoroids. And exotoroids have the axis and they are hexagonal. Axes are on the on magenta. So axis is there on magenta, because the items have axis, like the most recognizable. And the exuberance is on yellow. This is a connection of properties of the cubes and hexagonals and exotoroids, because there is a hexagonal shape you can found in the cubes also, not from this side of course, but there is one. And the hyperbolic plane, which is, as I said, most elegant structure I found, because there is only one, not 330, not 64, but only one. And it means that there are no corners with different colors. All space is filled with this exuberance. You can see here is exuberant, green exuberant, here is blue exuberant, here is red, cyan, red, and so on. There have names, maybe. I know them the most, and these are the view from the exhibition in Paris. So you see how is the different, and also the schemes for the painting canvases, because it is not so easy to have all that color systems for every canvas is different section of this cube, different colors of the corners, different colors of the background in the front, and I made a little help by the some sections, schematic sections of this 3x3x3 cube to help me manage the colors. If something is white, then in this case at the far end has these colors, and if it's closer it gives this, and really close it is like that. And if something is yellow, magenta, green, cyan, magenta, green, red, blue, and black. The same thing, but different colors. And I paint looking on this, trying to mix the color from this reference, because these are the pigments. Pigments doesn't work like a real color, because it's in chemistry. Each particle is different. So if I mix the same amount of yellow and same amount of red in particular pigments, I will not have the perfect middle orange, because there is no such a way. This is two different substances, so maybe if there is a lot of white inside and it's opaque, but it's not working like that. So I needed a reference to mix different ways, and every color different solution. In my studio I have plenty of paints, because I want to know as much pigments as it is possible, because I understood that painting is more difficult than I thought, because I thought that it's just one color to another color mix, and that and it was really surprising for me that every single pigment is totally different, has totally different characteristic, different tint, different transparency, and it's still really interesting for me. Now when I use a lot of glazing, my newest paintings are made only with glazing, without white. As Rubens said, that white is a poison for painting. There is something in it. Also, I learned that to have such a strong colors, you need to put white underneath, and then glaze it with a little, with a medium with little pigment, with really thin layer, to achieve the most saturated tone. It's not possible with white when you have a bright. Here's the RGB cube with white corner on the top, and from this exhibition there is a canvas towards every of that color. White was so big, it's 2 meter and 4 by 2 meter and 4, so I decided to paint a mural with this. I can show you a time lapse if you don't know it. Maybe I will. I don't know if the music is heard. Here are the all canvases, and the white one is painted outside. It's called Hyperbolic Exuberance. The music is by my friend Mikołaj Pomas. Oh. Some lags. Hyperbolic space. It's really. I will just turn off this, and let's get back to the exhibition. I will show you this mural finished here, because there is no need to watch my canvases on the web browser. Just to quick follow up, there is this mural. Hyperbolic space as the most elegant structure I found. Each color is connected to each color, and it's the order of the exuberance are satisfied. So it's not flat because there is octagons in tessellation, tiling from octagons, because only flat surface, flat plane can be other flat flat plane is tessellated with three shapes: triangles, regular shapes, triangles, squares, and hexagons. And with a sphere, the curvature, positive curvature, you can tessellate with 5 tilings. It's also squares, triangles, 2 ways, and 3 ways. Triangles and pentagons. But heptagons, octagons, and more gons, even infinitagons, can be tiled on hyperbolic plane. It's something really folded, not defined in one way, because the surface is need to expand more and more and more in every direction. And here, two opposite corners on the top left and right bottom are close to us, and the other are going to infinity far away from us. It's this kind of surface. It has the positive, negative curvature. And there are a few paintings with this surface I did here. This, for example, with axis drawn, because it's close to magenta, because it's bright magenta, so it's like a combination of hyperbolic exuberance and axis, which is on this, which is the subject of magenta paintings. When you have the shapes from this family, but arranged on the axis, because they are symmetrical this way. So, and also see if it's streaming. This painting is close to axis also. Like, oh, this one is with my mistake. It should be higher. I need to change it. Yeah, but it's with toroids, because toroids are on red. The magenta, red magenta, it has toroids and its axis, or axis. Different ways of bend. Here is close to white, so advanced form, in opposition to basic one on the black. This is an interesting structure, which was really complicated to draw, because it contains, as I can say, 120 hexagonal arrangement of exuberance. This means that each layer of these hexagons is a different combination of that. That's why it's 120, because when you permutate the objects on the hexagons, they're 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5, because one stays on the same, like, let's say, orientation point, and the other are permutate, so there are 120 permutations different of the 6 exuberance. And also, if I have hands so I could easily show you some, but they are changing also to be on the circle to be on the line, like this circle with this exuberance is opening more and more and more, bending to be in a straight line here at the bottom. So here is the, like, in array of 6 hexagons, and there is a strange crossing, because other direction from this beginning, here is the beginning when the circle is closed, the circle is open but on the other side, different, so when they meet there are different parts of the same circle, so the exuberance needs to switch places to be at the right place. Quite complicated, but it was interesting to develop. And also color story, the bright red in far away distance, and opposition dark cyan in the front. Let's have a look at the whole image. Most canvases from this exhibition are still available in the Celal 13. The gallery is you can contact the gallery and ask to next painting I can show. Oh, here is the also hyperbolic plane, my attempt to show it as a membrane, like a opaque thing in this strange curvature, not only drawn edges but also what is between them, but no color. It's filled with the membrane only where the one component is on, and there is no membrane when it's off, because each color in this tiling exuberance have the 3 components, and when you switch off 2 and left with 1, there is the pattern appear, which is the subject of next exhibition. But let's finish with this one fast. I don't know how long it. Oh, it's almost 3 hours. This is, for example, the hyperbolic plane of exuberance. Maybe it's not colored, but on this level the same shape was interesting for me. Made with triangles, because it's cyan, and as I said, cyan is about the corners, and the corners are here triangular corners, but it's made with cubes. That's because these are the only colors from these corners that are common from exocubes and exo-ITBs. And as I said, there are plenty of 1 and 2, 64 exocubes, 336 of exo-ITB, different triangular corners, but some are repeated in here and here, and there is this set arranged depends on the color, on the color space. There are 3 groups or sets of these colors, so there is also 3 groups on the canvas. Here are, for example, the colors that are 3 the same colors. Okay. So 8 colors, and there are 3 different on the far away, and here 1 different. And 2 are repeated. And this also I was planning to make something like a like a landscape painting. So I decided to put here a little thing that is a sample of colors of classical landscape painting. I was read about on the cerulean blue on the sky, the yellowish, no, the bluish green and the horizon that goes to the earth tones, like umbra or something like that. Okay, so few more and we'll go further. The painting, which is really minimalistic with structure. It's about a corner of the exo-ITB, which is this strange star shape. Well, I decided just put it here on the bottom of the painting, which I composed as a white colors in some relation that I found interesting. Here, this painting is also really minimalistic. It's not so advanced in form, but the same shape is really complex. It's painted really regularly, really straight, but these are the flattened exocubes of one set. This one with black or white corners. They are flat. The corners are attaching each other, creating the 6 star, and it is like that all 4 variation of that can be connected to each other with the corners they create, and the color is the same on the corners. So there is a 4 planes that are cross each other, and this shape is similar to cuboctahedron. This have a cuboctahedral symmetry, but the squares are here actually the rectangles, but the octagons are quite regular. Well, maybe not so much, but quite. Here is the map. Maybe on this resolution is not so well seen, but each shape of this set is here as a kind of logo on some triangular arrangement. There is also a painted 3D scan of Maya, my daughter, that was in Anya's body. No, but nobody knows that I painted her there. Maybe she will see it someday. Here is a yellow painting with exuberance, but also really transformed. And here really classical, let's say, a portrait of ITB, like a mother with child, with a window. The ITBs exotypes are having something in common. They are like have some star parts the same, and some are different. The same as mother and child have the, some similarities and some differences. Here is ITBs as they born. It's from the pixel schematic diagram that I was using to find this all 336 variation. Basically, I searched for every possible triads of octagons with exuberance, and then I was searching which can be paired to create the exo-ITB. And I used the pixel diagram for that. I was this was not programmed, but just by hand painted in pixel art application. I'd have there more than 100 densely packed pages of pixel notes, because I draw there these operations, these diagrams, and this all countings and things since the beginning of this exuberant thing from 2014, and there are plenty of structure I found this way on my paintings now. And it's also a good notebook for me to also the color scheme that you've seen on my website is also from this. This is exuberance, classical exuberance. The first painting I paint for the exhibition. I trained this on this wall here, and then I made the canvas. Walls sometimes are for me like a training before painting. Painting sometimes a couple of months to to paint, and a wall can be painted in few days. I know, most people paint walls one day or 1 hour, but not me. I spent a week, but maybe now I will paint more synthetically. We'll see. Yes, this painting I wanted to show you. This one is, I think, the first painting I composed with awareness of the composition. Because normally, this was after the planner in Duszniki Zdrój, when we talk a lot about the composition, about the structure of the painting, there was a great teacher, Janusz Mariusz Korczak, przepraszam. I was there with Steiner, and we painted and talked a lot. So after that, I see differently my paintings and everything, and the main goal was to create some tension in painting, not just a center that is scattered with some satellites, or which is I think this was only the beginning. The next year I was sketching a lot in my notebook, a lot of synthesize small composition to make an exercise in this direction. This painting is also composed with previous awareness, let's say. But I think I add this strong solids after. So basically, not only a detail, but the feeling of whole rectangle. Okay, let's go to the next exhibition. Before we can visit a small place with little paintings I did in 2019 with ExoITBs as only one component shown, and hyperbolic exuberant also with only one component. Where is it? Here. Oh, the resolution needs to be improved, I think. Oh, here you can see just perfectly the color around, and that's because of the glazing. This was the time I decided to use the glazing for the background light. It's really intensive. When I was doing it with spray, not so intensive. And here is the exhibition VR Chacie. It's about hyperbolic hexagon, which is hidden in the structure of hyperbolic tiling of exuberance. As I said, when you have only one component, you you see the tiling of some strange hexagon. This hexagon has a sum of or have two right angles and 45 angles, and the normal hexagon, flat one, has 6 angles of 220, and this hyperbolic have such a strange smaller. And also on the hyperbolic, all paintings are about the hyperbolic tiling of exuberance, arranged by the dimensions on the cube, and the background is mixed like in a Rubik's cube. Only one is the like a starting permutation of this Rubik RGB cube, let's call it, and there is no change, like a 0 position, and others are shuffled. And this was the task for me, to enlighten the objects with different order, because now the colors were totally distorted, and this shining of the objects was really complicated thing to paint. But on the same is really subtle. This is most advanced. I think it's still available in Desa Unicum. And paintings from beginning of 2020. This was a painting for my friend, so it's kind of looking back to exuberance and this matter substance, and play with it from the chaos to the order. The painting you can know from Denver, from the New Conscious Gallery of Ryan Connell. The same thing, hyperbolic exuberance, but only one component, and no component is black, so there is some divisions of these surfaces on bright and dark areas. This is really complicated, but on the other hand, it's I was trying to make it quite clear because of these membranes that are painted with white, but color it because they are white, but because of the surrounding, the white is having different color, from the gray to white to bright yellow, bright blue, bright magenta, bright green, and so on. All RGB cube part near the white. And the painting also available, but in Sopocki Dom Aukcyjny or Sopot Auction House. Also the hyperbolic plane of exuberance, but pure glazing, no opaque parts, just a membrane fully colored, not like a one component, all components. Actually, it was painted in reverse, because normally I think about components as red, green and blue, but for the glazing purpose I switched to CMY, like cyan, magenta and yellow, because I started from white and was adding this glazing to components of the exuberance. And the painting that is in progress, the only one, the pandemic time, I was painting. There is also one, but it's not shown here. No, more there are in progress, but on this exhibition this is only this. When I finish it I will update so you can see it. And this is also almost pure glazing, and the membranes of the exuberance, and really funny thing for me, the cubes on the triangles squeezed in such a way that they're in shape of a triangle, but it's complicated to draw and to talk about, but this was the subject I was trying to achieve. But by the painting, the whole thing went in different direction. There was plenty things I discovered about this surface, because I didn't know if the straight lines are allowed in this, because they are perpendicular to each other, but when you go with this line to another, and there is perpendicular to another, and another, and another, and another, there is some not logical things going on. So this is still for me mystery. I need to precisely write the question about it and ask some mathematicians, I think. Yes, so we get back to the starting point. I know that it was so long. I don't know if when you still watching this, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you VR Chat support. VR Chat team for support. Thanks Chris Boyne for inspiring me for this, because his exhibition Exhale was something really impressed me, and I've seen in this technology a lot of opportunities, lots of things that I can do. Thanks to you, Chris. I didn't know about chat and things like that. And this project was implemented by a scholarship program, Ministry of Culture and Heritage. Culture in Web. So bye bye, see you.